This is the Caran dAche NeoColor I Water Resistant Wax Pastel. I like to call them artist crayons. What's beautiful about them and what I love about them is that they are light fast and they are excellent artist quality materials. These are not water soluble, and this is the set of 15, but they come in many different sizes. Here's what it looks like on the inside here. And so these are the crayons. These are some other crayons that I already had. They come already sharpened like this, so you can see they're ready to use. And then as you work with them, they will get rounded like this. However, you can take them and put them right into the larger side of a pencil sharpener like this and go ahead and sharpen those tips. So they will work with those large pencil sharpeners like that. So then you can get closer to a tip if that's what you need. However, if you have one that's blunt like this, of course, you can cover more of an area than with one that's sharpened like this, where you have a smaller area. Now notice that this one is broken, and that's perfectly fine because the whole length of it is pigment and there's no casing around it. It's like having a massive pencil, wax pencil, but in a crayon. I love these. Now on the sides of them, you're going to find, let's take a whole one so I can show you here, the same one. And on the side, it's going to show you what the color is. This one is yellow-green. It's also going to show you what the number of the color is. So this one happens to be color 230. On the back of this cover, it shows you the color numbers here so that you can track and replace the colors if you need to. But it does say the color on the barrel. If it's an older one like this, and it says, in this case, 7000.050, the color is 50 or 050 there. This one happens to be flame red, they call it. Now let's take a look at how these work on paper. Like I was saying, if you have one where the tip is worn down, you can cover a large area, and they're very similar to a pencil. So it's like you're working with a big fat pencil lead, which is fantastic. But you can see how beautifully it covers the paper. And this paper is a Bristol vellum paper, which is what I would normally use for a color pencil as well. So if you have a large area to cover, it's great to use these to do the large area. Now, another thing you can do is right here on the sides are little tabs. You can use this tab to remove the paper, and then like a pastel, you can use the side of it to cover a large area as well if you needed to cover and put some color down. But this is your lighter color and this is your heavier color. Now let's put another color next to that. And then I'm going to show you, you absolutely can put one on top of the other and build layers. You can build layers similar to color pencil, where you just use a light pressure. You can also use a heavier pressure and get some blending or burnishing going on. And then you can use either a blender pencil. So this is a blending pencil, and I can go in here. It doesn't really blend much with your finger like that. A tiny bit comes off of there, but I like to use a blending pencil like this if I need to blend it like that. And you can also blend with odorless mineral spirits. So this happens to be a water brush, but I've put inside it odorless mineral spirits. So do not have this around children. This is just for adults. And with that little bit of odorless mineral spirits in here, you can also go in and do your blending like that. Now with the odorless mineral spirits, it's going to take some time for it to dry before you want to go back over it with another layer. You can see some of it stuck in there. I'm going to squeeze this to get it down in there and clean it out before using it the next time. So that gives us a more of a nice even blend right there. Now you can also use these pencils or these crayons as a resist. So if I write on here, and you can't see it because it's white, but then if I take some water media, this happens to be some watercolor, and I go over top of it, that word or that wax is going to resist, and then all of a sudden the word shows up like that. Now, I also love using these on colored paper or tinted paper. So for instance, here's something that I was playing with on the tinted paper, and I love the way these look on the tinted paper. They are such a dream to work with. You may wonder if it's similar to a wax or to an oil pastel where you would end up with little flakes. It is not like an oil pastel. However, sometimes you may need a kneaded eraser because sometimes there are little tiny bits that will come off of it. This is a flower, and each one of these petals is at least 5 layers of these crayons. And so sometimes I have to take some of this and go in and pick up little bits, but there is not much that comes off. Let me show you perhaps with this, the eraser. So if I have an eraser, I have found that I can erase some of it. It doesn't all come off, but I am able to work back in and get a little bit of that pencil off. So it's definitely something to try if you need to lighten an area or remove some of it. I hope you enjoyed this review of the Caran dAche NeoColor I